I am making a French feast as part of the Motrin Make It Happen Monday challenge. I'm going to be taking some classic new French techniques that I've learned and using them to create coquille Saint-Jacques, coq au vin, and crêpes Suzette for dessert. Let's see how I do. We'll start with coquille Saint-Jacques. Breadcrumbs and butter in one bowl, cheese, white wine, cream, mayo, and parsley in the other. Now it's time to sauté. Small scallops are not ideal for this recipe, but in a small town in a landlocked province are the best you can do. So just make sure if you're using smaller scallops, don't cook them as long. A couple minutes should be enough to turn them opaque, and that's all you need. Next, we're going to sauté our mushroom and onion until it's nice and tender. Now with our veggies soft, we're going to add the cheese mixture and the scallops back into the pan and cook it all up together. Doesn't that look amazing? Finally, we ladle the mixture into the individual shells, top it with breadcrumbs, and then we can set this aside until we're ready to broil it and serve it up. Now it's time to move on to our main course. Now I started out by cutting apart a whole chicken and marinating it in my wine. So now that that's done, I'm going to cook up this salt pork, lardon in technical terms, to get a nice layer of pork fat in the pan and get these nice and crispy. They're going to add some great flavor to our chicken. So right now I'm just browning the chicken in that same pot as I cook the salt pork so that it gets nice and crispy with a great flavor. With the chicken nice and brown, I'm sauteing up the mushrooms, onions, and garlic until they're nice and brown and fragrant. Now, after the mushrooms and onions were nice and brown, I added my wine, the reserved wine for marinating the chicken, and a little bit more, some chicken stock, the salt pork, and now I'm going to nestle the chicken into this delicious broth and pop it in the oven for a nice slow cook. An important thing to remember, do not put the chicken breasts into this mix right away. We're going to add them later so that they stay nice and juicy. And we are almost ready to go. I have the coquille Saint-Jacques ready to go under the broiler and get nice and bubbly. I'm thickening the sauce and the chicken is cooked to perfection, so our meal is almost done. A sauce like this is often thickened with flour and water, but in this case, I'm just going to boil it down to a nice thick reduction. Now with two delectable courses ready, there's only one thing left to do: whip up our crêpes Suzette. Now crêpes Suzette are essentially just crepes flavored with the delicious orange caramel. So to start out, I'm melting together some butter and sugar to form the base for that caramel. Now I've fresh squeezed some orange juice into the pan. I'm going to stir in a little Grand Marnier and then add the crepes and fold them into triangles. Now it's time for the grand finale. I'm going to pour a little more Grand Marnier over these crepes and then light them on fire. When the flames die down, they are ready to serve. And that was my very first successful flambé. And there we have it. Coquille Saint-Jacques, coq au vin, and crêpes Suzette. A full French meal, fit for any dinner party and sure to be well received by guests. It took a lot of work, it took a lot of cooking, but I am so pleased with the results and I'm so excited that I've mastered some delicious new recipes. Thanks so much for joining me for Motrin's Make It Happen Monday Challenge. What challenges are you going to conquer?